Told them to get their shoes on, grab any kind of shoe, and just take off up to Grammy's up a hill. So we were evacuating our house. We were leaving the house. We were completely gone. We did not want anyone getting hurt, so we just told everyone to get out. Hey guys, what is up? It's me, Maddie, and I am taping this video for the 15,000th time, it feels like. Anyway, but I tried filming on the porch, but it was too windy and dark, and I tried filming in the living room, but my parents came in and all the kids and everything, so I'm just doing it in my room. But sorry it's not fall looking, but it's good enough. I tried plugging up the lanterns for you. So I am currently here at my house, in my room, filming a video for you guys, and this video is going to be a story time video. If you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up and subscribe and become a sibling sub. Okay, thank you guys. Let's get started. Okay, so today's story is called My First Time Babysitting Gone Wrong. Keep in mind I'm babysitting 13 kids at the time, so please stay tuned. It's a really interesting story, so let's get started. Okay, so this was a few months back. It was around June, so I woke up one morning and I was like excited because it's my first day babysitting. So I was like, woo, let's do this. So I got up, I looked out the window. It was a rainy day, but the creek was a little full, you know, and it was a little muddy, you know, like when it gets more water and stuff. So I was like, oh, that's good, you know, I mean, nothing, you know, which is great. So I walked downstairs and I say, oh, I'm so sorry, Jacob, for you having to babysit. You know, it's my younger brother, he's got a twin brother, Luke, but it was Jacob, and I was like, oh, Jacob, I'm so sorry you had to babysit for an hour, because Mom left around 8, and I woke up around 9, so we had to watch the kids for like an hour. He's a really good brother, and he'll do that for me, so I was like, thank you for letting me sleep and stuff. So I went to the bathroom, brushed my teeth, you know, got dressed, then I ate breakfast. Then the kids were a little wild. They were like, oh, we're tired of being inside. So I said, okay, kids, let's play some games. I play multiple games with them. I play like Simon Says. I put up tents for them. We pretend like we were camping inside. I made s'mores for them. We act like we were around a fire with like a red shirt and brown pants as the wood and stuff. I mean, we did everything. I'm a good babysitter. 11:30 was when it really got bad. The kids were constantly looking out the window. We were too. Me, Jake, and Luke were all constantly looking out the window, making sure the water hadn't got too hot. It was getting really bad. Like, we started seeing bridges float down the creek. Logs, boxes, blankets, balls, you name it. It was floating down the creek. It was really strange. So the kids got kind of scared, like the middle-aged kids, like knowing them. So we shut the curtains because we thought it was best that they wouldn't get traumatized or something watching the water float down with all these weird stuff in it. So after we shut the curtains, we told them that they weren't allowed to look out because they were getting too scared and they were crying. One cried, so we were just like, no, we're not going to look out the window anymore. Lunch rolled around, and then I made lunch. I was so hungry, guys. I remember how hungry I was. I was like 100% hungry. I was like, I'm so going to eat as soon as I lay them down. So I bring them in there, and we're all so bored, like it's ridiculous because you can't go on the porch because it's thundering. We watched a movie. The movie was over. You know, when you get done from watching TV, you want to do something else, you know, especially movies, and there's nothing else to do. So after I get done making lunch, they were still worried about the creek, so I said, hey guys, let's make some cookies. You know, cookies always make things better. So we made some cookies, we served them out and everything. And you know, they had fun with that. We made little fish cookies to go with the camping stuff I was doing with them. After that, when I got done, I put the little girls to bed, which is Victoria and Natalie. I lay them down, and I had to lay up there with them for a couple minutes because they never go to bed right away. I mean, if they did, that would be something wrong with them. After I laid them down, I was starving, so I come downstairs, I look out the window, and there's no water in our yard. It was getting very high, though, and we were getting really, really worried. Like, the dam the kids had made, they made the impossible dam, it's called, so it will never knock down, they said. So the water was like gathering up around the dam before the dam, and it was like making kind of an impact on our bank, and it was ripping down the bank next to our creek where there's like a little hill, and then there's our house. So a little hill and then the creek. So it was really concerning us. I said, you know, if there's no water in the yard, we're fine. Our plan was, plan A, to just run up Grammy's and take him in the basement to his yard so it's flooding. We were really concerned, but it had never flooded before, so we never would have thought, especially on my first day babysitting, never. And it wasn't really raining that hard here. It was kind of just like, you know, sprinkling maybe. But, so yeah, I mean, you know, you just keep telling the kids everything's fine because everything is fine and the creek's just a little high. I go in the bathroom for 2 minutes. I'm not even kidding. I remember 2 minutes. I went there. Got up. Open up the door and I hear all this commotion and I hear Jacob grabs me by the arm and he takes me in the kitchen. He points out the window and I look out there and there is a pond in our yard. There's like a little stream coming straight from the creek into our yard. I saw our neighbor's house, and it was completely like, the ground over there was like just a pond, you know. Their house was just looked like it was floating or something. Their house didn't float though, it was just the water that went around it. It looked really weird. So instantly I was like shocked. I was in a state of shock because 2 minutes ago I looked out the window, no water anywhere. Come back, there's water. I got really worried and I don't know, I thought, my goodness, like how did this happen? Before I knew it, the water was getting higher and higher. It was in the field, so it was getting really close to our house. So I told Jacob to run upstairs and get the little girls and wake them up, the ones I just put down. And no, I never got my lunch. I tell everyone to stay calm, because stay calm. A couple of them were starting to cry, like Noah, the tough ones, are crying. Allie, they were starting to cry and get worried and stuff, and it was not good. Told them to get their shoes on, grab any kind of shoe, and just take off up to Grammy's up a hill. So we were evacuating our house. We were like leaving the house. We were completely gone. We did not want anyone getting hurt, so we just told everyone to get out. Of course, some of them were like, let's stay and see how bad it gets, but I told them, no, let's not. Let's just go up there. So, and you got those daredevils who were like, what would happen? I wonder what would happen if we go swimming or something. I was like, if you go swimming in that kind of water, honey, I don't think you're going to be making it out alive. I know you're not going to be making it out alive. So, we all get our shoes on, we run up Grammy's, and Grammy's not home, of course, so we had a spare key, thank goodness. I unlocked the door, and it was starting to rain hard this time. It wasn't raining a lot. I mean, found out that all this water came up from up the road. They were getting a lot of rain. Once we take them up there, we lock the door, you know, keep them inside. We all gather around and hold hands and say a quick prayer, because we were all really scared and we didn't know what to think. So Mom, Dad, and my 2 older sisters weren't home. No one else is older than me, so I'm like the oldest of the group right now, and I am nervous as I don't know what, but I was just trying to keep it cool, because if I'm nervous, the kids are nervous, and if I'm happy, the kids are happy. And when the kids went up there and I was in the house by myself with Sam, I was just freaking out. I was like, oh my gosh, how on earth did this happen? I was really worried about Mom and Dad not coming home, and I was with all 13 of the kids. Keep in mind, I'm babysitting 13 kids at the time, so Luke, Jake, Sam, Allie, Ethan, Josh, Noah, Emily, Caleb, Andrew, Olivia, Victoria, and Natalie. So that's 13 and counting, and that was really scary. Around 3:30 it was, and we were all just anxiously sitting around. The boys ran down to move the vehicles up to higher grounds. You couldn't even use our driveway anymore. It was flooding. Water was just everywhere in it. We anxiously sat there, and all of a sudden, I run upstairs to call Dad, and Dad says, well, before I left our house, I called my dad and I was like, Dad, it's flooding and it's in our yard and the water's in our yard. That's all I could say. It's in our yard. It's in our yard. And he said that he was leaving right away. So he grabbed, you could just hear him moving around stuff, and he's like, he's on his way right now. He's leaving work right now. And he's an hour away from our house at work. And Mom is in the same place an hour away. I call Mom too, and I'm like, Mom, it's flooding. I didn't say it's in our yard. I just said it's flooding. And she said, okay, it's happened before. It's all right. And I said, Mom, it's in our yard. And she just freaked out. I mean, she thought I meant like the creek was just rolling really bad, like, you know, like lots of trees. I'm just like, it's in the yard. I'm looking at the yard while the water's flowing and stuff, so Mom's like, she's on her way home now. I'll be home in a minute, and Kristen's with her. So I hang up, and Caitlin, I can never get in contact with her because she's at a camp, and you're not allowed to, like, call her there. Go back to where we were at. We were up at Grammy's house, and I went to higher ground. I told like Sam and I to watch them, and I went to the upstairs of their place, and I was using their home phone, calling anyone I could. I was trying to get in contact with Grammy and Pop to see if they would come home and help. I don't know. Everyone was an hour away. And I do have a great grandma across the street, but she's 91, and I don't think she would be like, you know, much help. And plus, it's across the creek, so we couldn't get to her. So I call and call and call, and nothing's happening. I figured the power was out. Well, the power was still going, but the phone lines were down because the water was this high at the power line. So I just gave up, and I look out the window, and up the driveway comes my Pop and Grammy. And I don't know how on earth they got across the bridge that was flooding in our yard and the driveway and stuff, but they somehow got there. They were in their nice Jeep and stuff, and they come running out, and Grammy comes in and Pop and them, and they said, so glad to see us. They were so happy to see us up there. And they said that they had to make some phone calls to people that they knew were in low ground and that were in trouble. So they made some phone calls to my uncle and dad and mom, telling them not to come home. The roads, they were leveled. The creek was leveled to the road as they were driving home. They went across the bridge right as water was leveled to it too. As soon as they crossed the bridge, the water covered it. Within minutes, the water was above it and was covering the bridge. Pop was really worried about the bridge knocking down, and we were worried about our neighbors, you know, because their yard was just completely covered. We were just constantly waiting. An hour went by, and we see our neighbors come up. Chuck and Sarah, that's our neighbors. They said they didn't know what to do, so I think they just left to go to her sister's place. I don't know where they went, but Dad calls and says that he cannot come home. He's tried. He was going to climb over the mountains trying to get to us. He was going to go hiking across the mountains and make it his way here. He was going to go do anything he could to get to us. But water, he was on the interstate almost. He went to like the West Virginia interstate or something like that. And water was really high. He couldn't even get past it because the water was just up to his car. He couldn't even get past it. Dad called her and told her not to even try because he can't cross water. You know, that's a really dangerous idea to cross water in your car. He couldn't make it, and my mom couldn't make it either, so they just had to turn around and stay at my Grammy's, which is my mom's place, and they had to stay there. And Caitlin didn't even know about the flooding going on, so it was really scary because Mom, Dad, Caitlin, Kristen, everyone older than me couldn't make it home. I was by myself with my Grammy, thank goodness she was there, and Pop. Right now it's around like 5 o'clock, and the creek is just reaching just higher and higher and higher. There's new levels of high. I tell her that we need to get some diapers for the babies. We need to get some juice for them to drink, some milk and stuff. Because, you know, old people don't have that stuff, like diapers laying around and stuff. We had to run down and get it. So we ran down, and my little sister Victoria, she's 3 years old, and she cannot eat anything with milk in it. So we had to get her special milk, her special bread, her special everything. So we had to run down here. We grabbed the bag, me, Luke, and Jake, and that's when I made this video. After I taped that, I ran inside, grabbed the clothes, I grabbed diapers, I grabbed the binkies, I grabbed anything a baby would need, and I just, I grabbed some pajamas for them. Everyone else, I only got pajamas for little kids because I knew they were going to make a mess in their clothes they were already in. We grabbed them, we packed up, we ran up to Grammy's. And that's when I had a little bit of emotional breakdown. I looked down right up there on the hill. I looked down, I just see the water come straight towards our house. And I started to cry because I just couldn't believe that our house was going to get like molded and just flooded. And it was just, your house is never the same once it just gets flooded inside like that. It's not like we have a very big basement, so, and I was worried about, the animals and stuff, so ran up all the electronics upstairs to Mom and Dad's room. We put them on top of the highest thing, and we just threw the expensive cameras, the expensive laptops, anything expensive. We left the TV as a plus because they're not really anything. But the expensive stuff, we put on Mom and Dad's bed. We ran up. We just stayed there, and it started getting dark, and you couldn't see our house anymore. I mean, you couldn't see anything anymore. So the last thing I saw when I saw our house in the light time, like daylight, was the water was right next to it. It wasn't much. It was 10 feet from the house. Went to bed very, very restless that night. Very, very stressful because I was thinking about everyone. I tried making phone calls to Mom and Dad. I could talk a little bit, but the phone kept messing up, and it was just a very stressful night. And I had Natalie sleeping in the bed with me and Allie. Me and Allie decided to sleep together with Natalie because she rolls out of the bed and she cries. And she's only 1 year old, so she's still an annoying little baby. So on the news, you could just see everything flooding. This very, very nice golf course that's very big golf course getting destroyed. We've seen the roads of our area, of our town, getting destroyed. We've seen how many people were dying. We just saw, someone said in West Virginia right above us, a house was floating away and people were inside it, and we were really worried. So we were so thankful to be on top of the mountain that night. And Mom and Dad, I made sure they were okay, and all of our relatives were okay and stuff. So, and my uncle and my cousins were camping, so they were camping when the lake went up, but they were okay. It was just a stormy day and night for them. Very restless night. In the morning, finally came. I got up at 6. I barely slept that night. I couldn't even think about sleeping. But I barely slept because Natalie kept kicking me, and I kept worrying, what if this happens, what if that happens, is the water in our house? I mean, I just couldn't stop. Of course, I had to think about all the kids. I don't even know what I ate for supper that night. I wasn't even hungry after I lost my appetite. I was thinking about everything that happened. I had like pork and just something to grab on the sides. I dressed all the kids for bed, just wiped off their faces, got some of them dressed. A lot of them went to bed in their clothes they were wearing. I went to bed in the clothes I was wearing when I woke up that day. We went to bed, very restless night, like I said, and in the morning, I got up at 6, and we ran out the door. I ran out because Natalie and then we woke up. So I ran out, I looked out the big window of Grammy's, and I looked out down at our house, and our house was still there, of course. It never hit me like it would float away, but it did hit me that it might get in my house. I tried seeing where the water was, so I went out on the porch to look down, and the water had gone down tremendously. The water it didn't even look anything like it had the day before. It had gone down so much. It was back into the creek. It was a waiting game now, waiting for when we can go back to our house, waiting for when Mom and Dad can come home with Kristen, and waiting for everything just to get normal again, you know? So we waited, and it was 11 when we finally got to go down. The damage wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Our neighbor's bridge knocked down from trees clogging it up, and when the trees did clog it up, it flooded their yard, and that's how our yard got flooded. And their damage was pretty bad. Their yard was awful looking. It got into their garage, and it messed up some of their tools and their cars and stuff, but not the cars, it got their cars dirty, but it didn't get inside the cars. Our bridge somehow survived, that little bridge. Our house never got touched by the water. So thankful. We were so blessed to never got touched by the water. It was positive it was going to, but it didn't. Thank goodness. Unfortunately, we watched the news, and about 24 people died in the flooding. It happened mostly the worst in West Virginia, but lots of people died by the water getting in their house and killing them. We were I'm saying this for real. We are so blessed it didn't hit us and the way it hit West Virginia, but it was just that morning when everyone came home. My mom came home, my sister came home, my dad came home, and then that weekend Caitlin got to come home, and she was in complete shock of what happened, but we were just so happy to all be together again, because it's like the night lasted forever, and you just hear people in the news dying. It was really scary. A couple months later, well, today, they knocked down their bridge, and they're building a new one. We've cleaned up our yard. Everything's gone back to normal for us. We were just so happy to have each other again, and that was by far the worst day babysitting in my entire life. To be 17 years old and to have 13 kids below you and you're all in danger, it's just something that you never forget, and I will never forget that day. And I wrote it down on paper thinking this is my journal, keeping up with everything that's happened in my life, and I didn't even have to read it while I was telling you guys the story because I will never forget that story. So guys, that is my worst day of babysitting ever. Babysitting day gone wrong, first day. Thank you guys for sticking around for this interesting story, and hopefully I'll never do a second day babysitting worst time ever or something like that. But I've babysitted multiple times now by myself because my sisters are both in college now, and dad's usually at work, and whenever mom needs to go out for a doctor's appointment or groceries, something, I say go ahead, and I'm always ready for something to happen. So yeah, that's my story, and I hope you guys enjoyed, and yeah, thank you guys for watching and for listening to me talk. Hopefully this video wasn't too long for you. Please subscribe for more, and thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day. Hey guys, bye!